Wow, that's all I gotta say is wow. Ugh. Hey everyone, this is Neil with Real Terrain Hobbies, and today is the day that I finally received my Tabletop World buildings. Just a quick note, I contacted Tabletop World to see if they'd be gracious enough to send me some to be reviewed on the channel. I've been a long-time fan of Tabletop World and I've always wanted to own a set of these buildings, so I'm super happy and excited to finally get these. It's taken a while since I had contacted them and they had said that they would send them. I waited and waited. I figured that they had completely forgotten about me, and then suddenly on my doorstep, here they are. Okay guys, I had to stop and put the mic on and do some filming with this. I was planning on doing just a complete voiceover for this entire thing, but taking this first, I'm like so excited right now. This is awesome. I was debating whether to do this live or just do the voiceover. I decided to do a nice voiceover thing with some nice shots and stuff. But after taking this out, really excited. This has exceeded my this is one of the smallest little buildings, but boy has it exceeded my expectations. I'm just gonna quickly take this tape off, just like so. I just want, just right out of the box, the detail on here is higher than I expected. Like the plastic, the resin that they used is a lot more, I don't know, just a lot more higher quality, I guess. And they got way more detail in here than I expected from a resin model. Like this is very, very good. I'm gonna zoom the camera in so we can take a really nice close look. Looking at these shingles, I was realizing that they've got to be individually cast, each of these shingles, and almost put on, they got to be placed on piece by piece, because there's no way the little gaps in between each of these shingles, you can tell they're not part of the same mold. They're definitely individual pieces and it looks like they're glued together. If not, if I'm wrong about that, then they have an amazing casting process. But you can even see where they're like touching, there's still a little teeny tiny crack. You can see you can tell that they're not one piece. So the reason why when people are amazed by these things is because of the fact they're so small and all of the little details are so tiny that it's just crazy how good it is. And the resin is super hard. I'm not sure exactly what kind of I don't know resins, so I'm not sure, but it seems a quality that I haven't seen before or come across before. So let's take a look around at this building here. So even each of these, there's a little pail of apples right here, and each of those apples are put in there and glued in there. It's not a cast. So somebody is building these things by hand. And as far as I know, there's only two guys that work in this company. When I called them, I was the one to approach them about their stuff. Being on the channel here, is one of the owners that answered. There's two partners and one of them answered, and I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to be kind of a bigger company. I am almost thinking even each of these stones are individually glued in. They're made individually. Again, I was expecting this all to be one solid piece, one solid cast. Moving on here, you can see all the little extra pieces that they went in. There's a pickaxe there, some rope, a lantern, a pumpkin, lots of stuff, corn on the cob. It's just something that I was not expecting to see when I got these things. As far as I can tell, this whole thing, I don't know how they I guess they cast each of these little shingles and every little piece in their own molds. But from there, they're all put in piece by piece, hand by hand. These things are hand-built, high quality, very durable. I wouldn't want to drop it on the floor. It'd probably break something, but for what they are, they're incredibly detailed, and it's a very durable resin. So, wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. Anyway, moving on. All right, so now I'm gonna open up the roof here for us to take a look at. Yeah, so it looks like they made each of these boards by hand, or on their own, sorry. And then they glued them all together by hand. Definitely these stones on the side here were glued on top of this plastic kind of piece here. And then that's textured. These pieces of plastic are textured as if they are stucco, or the wattle and daub, I guess it would be. This piece is all one solid piece, these two pieces here, by the looks of it. Or are they? No, they're not. Wow. Even these, I thought this would be one cast. Nope. So you can see the quality. Each of these boards, they are single cast pieces as well, glued on. I really was not expecting this. I was thinking most of this was going to be larger pieces, and definitely looking at the bottom here, these shingles are hand glued onto here. So these are high quality. And now let's take a quick look in here. Here's the inside. Floorboards as well. All the floorboards are glued in individually. And we got the little oven over there on this side. A couple windows on the inside. You can see those windows. And then our doorway. So this is, I'm thinking this is one of the smallest ones they sent, or the smallest one. There might be one more about this size in the other box. So I just wanted to interject and interrupt the voiceover video that I was going to be doing to kind of give you a bit of a higher quality video, but I just had to jump in here. My mind is blown. My mind is melting right now, because I was not expecting that them to be handmade like this. So, all right, there we are. We're going to be moving on to the next now. Crazy, just crazy. All right, so obviously I was a little excited there. What you were seeing was the complete live unboxing of these buildings. That was my first reaction upon seeing these things. And so that was totally what that was. And the reason why I'm so excited about the detail and all that in these things is this is not some giant kind of big, huge company. I kind of thought that was, I had the impression was for a long time that they were a big company that sold a pretty pricey product. But after coming to realize who these guys are, the one fellow that I spoke with, his name is Mladen. He was one of the two owners. Super nice guy. We got to talk on the phone for maybe 30 seconds. He could barely hear me. I was calling from Canada. They are in Croatia, which is a beautiful country, and plenty of castle scenery and things like that, and architecture. But no, by the looks of things, he was the customer support when I called. Mladen, he's got a business partner that works with him as well, equally, and it seems to be, to me, that it's just the two of them. I don't know for sure exactly. So, but the fact that these guys put so much passion in, I mean, I can completely not relate, but look up to these guys. They have made something amazing, something that I would only like dream of being able to do. And especially the Cottage 2 house, which is the smallest one of the two with the bigger shingles. When I first took a look at that, I mean, it was just, I was awestruck. So that's why I am so excited to see what these guys have created. And man, if you can do it, support these guys and pick up one of these buildings. It's not just some expensive piece of resin. It's so much more.
And the fact that it just comes from these two guys is incredible. So I'm going to throw a link in the description below to their website that contains all their products. And on top of that, I asked these guys if they'd be willing to give you guys a discount, and they happily obliged. So there's a link down below with a code. I'll put it on the screen here too, and that'll get you 10% off anything in their store. And just so you know, these 3 buildings are actually the smallest houses that they have, and they just get bigger and crazier from here. So definitely go check them out and pick up a building if you can. You will not regret it, guaranteed. And you'll think I gave you enough to show that these are awesome. Well, when you finally have the thing in your hand, you're gonna even see even more how crazy they are. So obviously we can't leave these buildings in this condition, in this kind of off pale creamy color. These need to get painted up. And guess what? I'm not an expert painter by any means at all, so I have not done a building like this before, so I could completely botch these things and ruin them. So I'm gonna make a video on painting these things. You can be right there with me and learn and see if we can make these look good, how hard that is, if it's really hard or not, and if I end up ruining one or two in the process. You guys can be right there with me. And of course, we need to do something interesting with these. Otherwise, this is not real terrain hobbies. So we're going to make some crazy, awesome thing for these. And you are not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a pretty sweet project. So like I said, Tabletop World has given us that 10% discount. So if you've had your eye on one of these, maybe now is the time to grab one or 2 or 3. You won't regret it. So stay tuned with what we're going to be doing with these. It's going to be a crazy build. Crazy.